Thanks everyone for joining us back at the Project Censored Radio Show. We're very glad right now to be joined by Kamiki Carter, a native Hawaiian wife, mother, sister, daughter, and friend to many. She has been a community advocate for over 20 years and is passionate on ohana, that's families, having access to resources available within the Maui community to ensure their basic needs are met. She is also currently the co-facilitator with Maui Rapid Response. Kamiki, thank you so much for joining us.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. I mean, I really appreciate you taking the time to sit down, understanding how hectic things are where you are. And I wanted to start off Maui Rapid Response. I'm curious, is that something, was that an existing structure that was in place, or was it created in the aftermath of the fires? And what has that rapid response looked like?
Maui Rapid Response. It is a disaster response team made up of individual volunteers as well as nonprofits and direct aid organizations from Maui County. It was actually founded back in 2020 during the pandemic time. So it originally started off as supporting the unsheltered here on Maui, which we do have a lot of, and making sure that they had access to care for their basic needs. My ohana and I, our family, came in and we started servicing the kupuna, which is our seniors, as well as our ohana in need, our family in need. And what is the positive thing is that while the one of our, part of our group took care of the unsheltered, we were very fortunate to take care of our sheltered population as well. So we were able to literally wholeheartedly support our families around Maui County, which we were so blessed to having. As far, yep, does I'm just gonna smile.
Yeah, and so so it started back in 2020, and I'm curious what has been its primary role here after the wildfire started?
After the wildfires, I think I got to go back a little bit more because in 2021 we had a flood, a pretty devastating flood up in Haiku, and we responded immediately. And our group is to fill in the gaps where the gaps are needed. For whatever reason, if there wasn't immediate support services out there, we were making sure that families and individuals were getting their basic needs met. And then it comes to the wildfires, and we're activated again, and a huge team now comes together made up of more individual volunteers and more organizations wanting to partner with us to be able to make sure that our lahaina as well as our kula, ohana, and individuals were cared for immediately, because it wasn't said much, but families and individuals were in need of food during that time where we had no communication with the Lahaina community, the West Maui community, and that was really frustrating, and it was really sad, especially for family members and close friends here on the other side of the islands wanting to get in there to make sure that our loved ones were taken care of. So it was a little frustrating in the beginning, but we were able to form good teams. Individuals were able to get in however way that they made it possible. Maui Rapid Response is again just a small hui, just a small group, but we were able to also break those barriers and get over there to ensure again that families and individuals were receiving the care that they needed, or the basic needs that they needed to even survive.
Yeah. Well, and could you walk us through some of the geography here? Because so Lahaina is in the northwest, as I understand it. Where are you in relation to that?
So Lahaina is actually, yes, is in the West Maui side. I currently live in Kihei, which is South Maui, and our operations headquarters is in Central Maui, and we do have what's called uh, community resiliency hubs that are throughout the South Maui, Central, Upcountry, North North Shore Maui area, to be able to support West Side hubs that's already formed, that has formed out there. Yeah, so that's where we are.
So I'm also curious about some of those basic needs. I mean, what in the aftermath, what were people most in need of, or even, during, what were people most in need of? What did you see the most lack of there?
Water, food. Um, I apologize if I get emotional. Water, food, just your basic needs, things that sometimes we take for granted. A meal, something to drink, um, clothing. Some of them were in their nightgowns, um, or pareos, wraparounds, um, clothing, shelter. Shelter was huge. Uh, a lot of people were displaced because they were told to evacuate, and just your basic needs: a roof over your head, food in your mouth, clothes on your back. That is the main things that was needed out there, and it we couldn't we couldn't get to them fast enough.
Yeah. And I'm also curious how that looks with regards to other more official types of aid. I remember during the pandemic in Washington, D.C., where I lived, uh, the mayor's office was actually suggesting that people call us a small mutual aid group. And I was like, well, you could just do it yourself, or fine, how does it look on Maui right now in terms of aid that you're getting from official sources versus groups like yours that are partnering together?
So I think initially, there wasn't much support from the county that we seen, that I personally seen. So creating, actually activating our team was something that was we already knew was going to happen, and it was necessary because we knew that in previous situations, the county or Red Cross or any other organizations never stepped in till a couple days later, and that was too long. I mean, go ahead and not have food for the last for 2 days, and no drink water for 2 days. You tell me how you feel, and so again, the community in their own way, shape, or form, Maui community really came together, and they just activated themselves with or without groups. Some had set up the actual shelters that the county did open up, but they were there was community members who actually set the shelters up and created some sort of organization so that individuals who were coming were able to be serviced, and not just waiting in line.
Yeah, that's a common story, I feel. Um, and so I'm curious, what is the status of things right now? What is the status in terms of the wildfires, and what's also the status in terms of being able to support people?
So at this point, the positive thing is we're no longer in immediate response. We're seeing that with the support that is being given by the government, we are able to house families, even if it's temporarily, and individuals, and we're seeing a lot more displaced families have temporary housing. However, there are still many, many, many displaced families and individuals who are currently either staying in their cars, yes, still to this day, or they are staying with family members or friends, or even just community members that just opened their homes and just said, come, we'll pitch a tent, we'll figure something out, we'll all sleep in, whatever it was. And we do still have many of them out there that it has been a challenge to access services for them, but I believe in our team, and our team has been working miracles, and they're figuring things out on a daily basis. We actually have pro a event. It's called Kipuka, and the Kipuka is where to families and individuals can come to, so that they feel safe. It's over at our Maui Botanical Gardens, but they feel safe, and it is a beautiful, luscious Aina, which is land. And so, one, they can reconnect back with our Aina, which is huge in our culture, as well as be around others have who have experienced what they've gone through, as well as have oh, sorry, as well as have navigators and advocate, more so advocacy, what we like to call them navigators, because they're navigating what each individual or family is in need of, and providing them, if it's to complete the FEMA application, if it's to complete a SNAP application, if it's to reapply for a duplicate copy of their driver's license. I mean, basic things that a lot of them just had to leave, and they left their bags behind, and so it's a lot. So we are so proud of our Kipuka team, and they worked very hard. And I'm actually just proud of our whole Maui Rapid Response team, from our donations, collections, as well as distributions, and our hubs, and how our donation team leads, really, really did what was necessary in the beginning to make sure that we were pumping things out. We connected with Hawaii Tours, uh, and Hawaii Tours provided the transporting of items from our central headquarters over to the west side, and he still continued. He and the whole Hawaii Tours team continues to do that, and we're just so proud to be able to be part of our community, and we want to make sure that our community knows how much we love them wherever they are, whether or not they're in Lahaina or in Kula, because Kula is another one that was affected by the wildfires, and up there, their needs were mainly water. And it continues to be water because the water is contaminated up there. I'm not, yeah, I, I'm I'm not too worried about Kula, because Kula's upcountry community, is also strong, and we have been supporting them on our end, and have connected them with resources like the Maui Food Bank, who can handle a higher volume of items, whether or not it's food, or if it's some even hygiene stuff, or even water. So yeah.
So, and I am curious because just knowing from my own mutual aid experience, getting the message out to people is difficult. And I never even had to do that during a wildfire. How did you get the message out to people that, like, hey, we can help, or hey, we have this distribution hub here? How were you able to get people safely, or I mean, not safely, out to spread the word that there was that support?
So again, Hawaii Tours, Chris and his team, they were boots on the ground from day one, when they could actually get into to the west side. And so Chris actually was one of the main contributors in making sure that everyone was on the same page. And as he went to different places, as these hubs started to be created within the West Side communities on their own, yes, on their own, Chris was able to kind of tap into every single one and report back to us. And the partnership is so beautiful. We Because there was no communication for those first couple days, and so in the beginning it was kind of like a all man for themselves getting out there. So whoever can get out there, load your truck, load your vehicle, get it out there. And the community just did what needed to be done. When Chris and his team came on, they were able to support with shuttles uh, for even basic health care. They were able to set up these systems where we could partner with him and get more items that was necessary out there, along with many other organizations that Hawaii Tours work with as well.
That's great. And when you said when you were able to get in, was there how did that play out? I mean, were people allowed to come and go, or even if they were aid organizations, what did that look like?
Exactly what I said. Every man for themselves. Whoever could get in, just get in. Um, it was it was barricaded in. Lahaina, the west side was pretty much cut off from us. Um, I'm very proud of our community for doing what was needed to get in. No violence that I heard of, which is such a positive thing. So let me preface that. Um, but it just needed to be done. And whether or not we went Kakuloa way, the backside into west side, or just going straight in and figuring it out, um, it was done. I know many of them felt lost. Um, a lot of those that personally I've been supporting have shared how they felt, and lost kept on coming up, that word lost, and just trying to survive, making sure my babies were good. My babies don't even have slippers. There was a lot. I mean, again, no, I mean, we didn't even really know how bad things were, but we just knew we needed to get to them somehow. And we did. The Maui community did. And I'm so proud to be part of this Maui community. Sorry.
Oh, don't apologize. Don't apologize. Take however long you need.
We're good.
Okay.
I think it's good to see this too.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that this stuff is censored a lot. But people should be confronted with it if you feel comfortable sharing it. So thank you. Um, and I want to shift, kind of wrapping up here. I want to shift to something potentially more uplifting, which is, what are your visions for your home place, and what would you need in order to facilitate the kind of healing and rebuilding that's necessary?
So at this time, as I shared earlier, we're not in the immediate response phase. We are pretty much settling down and really trying to focus on getting families and individuals temporary housing. That is being currently worked on. We are looking at partnering with the Maui Food Bank, either through our organization or connecting various organizations that are already doing the work out there, and having the Maui Food Bank support them to make sure that families who are still in homes, that they have just the basics, like how I said, just food and water. And certain places, I think the water is contaminated as well, and so that piece of it will help them substantially. I know air purifiers right now is a huge need. We did get some shipped into Maui, and I know that not per us, but another one of the organizations, and we were able to support some of the families we were taking care of to be able to go through to those different hubs to collect air purifiers, which is great. But I know that's a current need right now. We it's going to be a process, because we are going to start having to clean up, and those who moved back into their homes, they're cleaning up their homes, they're cleaning up the soot, they're cleaning up all of these things. But again, the air quality may not be be best be the best place for them, or even the young children with any respiratory uh, illnesses. And so as we continue to move, we are going to start with the cleanup phase, and then we're going to move into, more of what is the next step. The next step is, people are talking about uh, setting up tiny homes. People are talking about building, certain communities, uh, based on what Governor Josh Green had stated, is that he's going to make sure that nobody from um, outside of Hawaii is able to come in and purchase land, because property owners are being approached in regards to, come on, sell. And that's kind of my mana'o for that, is that's how it all started when we, as Native Hawaiians, that's how everything started. And so we have a huge Native Hawaiian advocates out there that have been advocating on behalf of the Native Hawaiians. And being Native Hawaiian, I'm so thankful for them, because they help to ensure our Aina, our land, to continue to remain to us, so that our next generation, my Kiki, my Mo'opuna, my grandchildren, that they will, which I don't have yet, but that so that they will be able to, call Hawaii their home and be proud of it. And as the economy has been going in a crazy direction, a lot of our Native Hawaiians and those, born and raised here, who have families, have lived here for centuries, centuries. Wait, like many years. Yeah, even centuries. Centuries is 100, right? Okay, just checking. So even that, they're moving off island. They're moving off, I mean, out of the state and going to the continent. Yes, they say Vegas is the ninth wonder of Hawaii, but it's not Hawaii. And we're seeing a lot more families, and even more so now, some of the families who are displaced here moving off island, which is already sad. And it's just even, yeah, it's just heartbreaking, breaking. So,
Yeah, that's it reminds me of what happened in New Orleans after Hurricane Katrina. There's, the lower Ninth Ward was, I think, 85% or more Black community, and I think only like 20% of them were able to move back. And so basically you had a a forced segregation that was used on the back of a natural disaster that was obviously not natural because climate change, um but yeah, so that's an unfortunate similar story that we've seen before. So finally, Kamiki, what are some places that people can go who are not in Hawaii can go to learn more or to support what y'all are doing?
So you had asked earlier, what are things that are being asked for? Prayers. Prayers is huge right now, and it's free. And we ask for those who are in that capacity to please send prayers uh, to Hawaii in general. We ask for monetary donations. Maui Mutual Aid Fund is what Maui Rapid Response falls under. You can go to Maui Rapid Response.org. I know we'll have it somewhere on the link. And then we have other organizations, but I think that's a one stop shop. They go to Maui Rapid Response.org and they will see various ways to support the community. And as they go down, we do also have a piece where they can directly support families affected through their GoFundMe accounts, as well as other organizations that we trust and believe in. And I think the other thing is to don't forget us. Don't forget about Hawaii because we're going to need help. And though we are not actively asking for it right now, we're gonna need help. We're gonna need help shipping containers for to store our tools that we'll be using to rebuild. We'll be asking for rebuilding supplies. There's gonna be huge asks. It's just not that time yet, and we want people to not forget us because we are going to need not only our nation but the world to just continue to love us and to keep us in their prayers and just to keep knowing that we will need that additional support. And like I said, it may not be now, but it may be in 6 months, it may be in a year, it may be even 5 years. It's gonna take a while for us to rebuild, and that's just the reality of things. So, yeah, those are things, but I always say prayers are free.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Kamiki, thank you so much. And yeah, as you pointed out, don't forget. And I think that's a big aspect of mutual aid is that the continued checking in with communities, knowing that we are not engaged in charity, but this is, the people helping each other. Um, so thank you, Kamiki, so much for taking the time. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, Eleanor.